now we call for Professor Amr Aburahma. He will talk about Abixiban in our clinical practice.
Mr. Chairman and dear colleagues, First, I would like to thank Professor Musad Suleiman for the kind invitation. My presentation today about Abixiban in our clinical practice. And first, I have to disclose that this presentation is sponsored by Zeta Pharma and their product Elimboses. Before starting the presentation, I would like to ask you, do you know this expression, Duax Classico? No one knows it? We all know the great competition between Ahli and Zamalek, the competition between Real Madrid and Barcelona, and now in the Duax market there is a competition between two drugs which are Rivaroxaban and Abixiban. We will start with a straightforward case of acute unprovoked DVT, a 34 years old female, initially presented 6 months ago with a large proximal DVT of the right lower limb. She was associated with shortness of breath, tachycardia, and CT demonstrated multiple bilateral pulmonary emboli. This lady was treated with Abixiban. How many of you still prefer treatment of this case with low molecular weight heparin? I know the answer. I think many of the audience prefer starting treatment of this case with low molecular weight heparin. But with all my respect to your clinical experience, but all recent guidelines now recommend starting treatment of acute DVT and pulmonary embolism with Duax over the standard therapy, which is low molecular weight heparin and warfarin. Was Abixiban the best choice for this case? Abixiban has a rapid onset of action, eliminating the need for injectable low molecular weight heparin therapy during the initiation. Also, Abixiban has no known dietary restriction and can be taken with and without food. And only Abixiban offers a 7-day short treatment initiation period for DVT and PE treatment, and a lower dose for extended therapy. As we all know, all NOACs was associated with less bleeding, with less major bleeding than warfarin in phase 3 trial. But Abixiban shows the least major bleeding rate compared with warfarin. We'll go to back our case. She completed now 6 months of therapeutic anticoagulation for unprovoked DVT of the right lower extremity. What about extended therapy? The recent guidelines recommend that for patients with unprovoked proximal deep venous thrombosis requiring extended anticoagulation beyond the 6 months, but not deemed to be at very high risk of recurrence, they recommend the use of a reduced dose of direct oral anticoagulants as Abixiban 2.5 mg twice daily or Rivaroxaban 10 mg once daily. Now we will touch another area which is more common in our clinical practice, which is heavy menstruation and anticoagulation. This is a clinical case of a female, 27 years old, diagnosed with DVT about 2 months ago after the use of oral contraceptive pills. She was treated with Rivaroxaban, and now she is on the dose of 20 mg once daily. She discontinued her oral contraceptive pills upon the diagnosis of her DVT, and since discontinuing her oral contraceptive pills and initiating Rivaroxaban therapy, her periods had been lasting for 10 to 14 days, and she needs to change a pad or tampon every 30 minutes. Her hemoglobin dropped to become 8 grams per deciliter. The question here, to stop or to continue after DVT diagnosis of oral contraceptive pills. Stopping oral contraceptive pills early when DVT occurs may lead to abnormal uterine bleeding, anemia, and risk of discontinuation of anticoagulation with subsequent risk of recurrence. So The right decision here for this lady was to continue the oral contraceptive pills for a period while they are taking anticoagulants to treat DVT, and later transitioning to a progesterone-based therapy. But we have to say there is a strong debate about this point, as the WHO suggests discontinuation of all estrogen-containing oral contraception at the moment of VTE diagnosis, but in sharp contrast, the Scientific and Standardization Committee of the International Society on Thrombosis and Hemostasis recommends continuation of oral contraception for the duration of the anticoagulant therapy. To continue the same treatment with rivaroxaban for this case or change to another drug. We all know since the introduction of NOACs more than 10 years ago, they seems to be all the same efficacy. But now, after they grow up and they became DOACs, we can find that there is some difference. This is a presentation in the Thrombosis Canada Annual Conference. In this presentation, about the management of anticoagulant-associated heavy menstrual bleeding, they recommended that it is reasonable to consider switching from rivaroxaban and edoxaban to use abixiban and dabigatran. And this recommendation was based on a study about the incidence of abnormal uterine bleeding, which was leased with abixiban and dabigatran. Another evidence-based mini-review about the abnormal uterine bleeding in users of rivaroxaban and abixiban. It concluded that in menstruating women who are experiencing ongoing consequences of abnormal uterine bleeding, we recommend abixiban over rivaroxaban as first-line oral anticoagulant therapy for VTE. Another point, to decrease the therapeutic dose of NOACs during menses or not. If women with heavy menstrual bleeding who are beyond 3 months from their acute VTE diagnosis, there is an advice for some patients to decrease the dose half. If she is taking rivaroxaban, you can decrease the dose to 10 milligram once daily, and if taking abixiban, you can decrease the dose from 5 milligram to 2.5 milligram twice daily during menses. Coming back to our case, after 30 months, this patient may discontinue anticoagulation. What about contraception for this patient? And what about if she is planning to go for pregnancy? This patient continued to use combined oral contraceptive pills for several weeks, at which time the patient received intrauterine device and the oral contraceptive pills was stopped. As regard if the patient require anticoagulation if planning a pregnancy, it is recommended that all pregnant women with previous venous thromboembolism should receive postpartum prophylaxis for 6 weeks up to 3 months, while pregnant women with a history of estrogen-provoked venous thromboembolism, they should receive antepartum prophylaxis besides the postpartum prophylaxis. As we can see, there is a lot of debate about this subject, and this was a trial to make an international survey to gather all expert opinion and the clinical experiences, but the conclusion that expert recommendations were divergent and different on most points of clinical practice, and more studies on this subject are needed. Another area where we can use abixiban is cancer-associated thrombosis, which is one of the leading causes of death in cancer patients after cancer itself. Abixiban for the treatment of venous thromboembolism associated with cancer, this is a study about that, which concluded that oral abixiban was non-inferior to subcutaneous dalteparin for the treatment of cancer-associated thrombosis without an increased risk of major bleeding. But we all know there is a concern about using DOACs in cancer patients with GIT or genitourinary cancer due to the increased risk of bleeding. To clarify this point, we all are accustomed to this picture when taking subcutaneous low molecular weight heparin, because low molecular weight heparin is a direct anticoagulant. Also, DOACs have a direct anticoagulant effect. So when taking DOACs over gastric ulcer or mucosal ulcer, it may cause bleeding. This is unlike taking warfarin, which is an indirect anticoagulant. So there is a topical effect of DOACs should be considered in these cases. What about the guideline says? The guideline says that patients with cancer-associated venous thromboembolism and the low risk of low risk of gastrointestinal and or genitourinary bleeding, they are recommended to be considered for anticoagulation with a direct oral anticoagulant, preferably Abixiban, alternatively Rivaroxaban or Edoxaban. So at the end of this classico, who is the winner, Rivaroxaban or Abixiban? I will not answer, you just ask Google and write which is better, Rivaroxaban or Abixiban. Thank you.